Test 1 2. Test 1 2. Whenever you're ready. Shalom, Lord of Christ. This is ISUPK, start off 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yahanna, where we teach blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians to make up the 12 tribes of Israel. We're not affiliated with any other Israelite group. Officer Kazak Shapar teaching the Lashawan Qadash class tonight. We're here in South Carolina. We're going to go over a good subject that we talked about last week. Prepositions. We're going to talk about possessive adjectives tonight, okay? Let's see. We got Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai Barak Thumb to all my brothers. Yahweh Shemal Thumb Bashem Yahweh Shai to my sisters for all you joining in. We got Radazak. We got Hawabah. Who else we got?
We have Latanya Frederick.
Latanya Fredericks. Okay. Amawat. Rib.
Okay. Have, UPK Shaw.
UPK Shaw. All right. Let's clap it up for class, right? More people there. Okay, and then we're gonna start by saying that Hebrew is the oldest language in the world. It's the language that the Most High has given us. It's the holy language, and we call it Lashawan Qadash here on our chart. And as you can see on our board, we're teaching the ancient and the Assyrian Hebrew tonight, as we always do. I try to concentrate on the ancient Hebrew. And we're going to go over Hebrew reads from right to left. You have, what's that, 22 characters in the ancient and 27 characters in the Assyrian. In Hebrew, you know, when we were in captivity, the language always sound Abba, Gada, Hawa, Zakata, Yakala, Manasa, Aipatazo, Kwarashata. But they change our characters down here on the second row, bottom a little bit. A lot bit. And of course, the top line is the original language, ancient Hebrew. And that's what a lot of people, some people call it Paleo, but it's actually the ancient Hebrew that we've got, that the Most High have given only to the 12 tribes of Israel, the greatest people ever walked the earth. We're just make sure you guys understand that Hebrew reads from right to left. Understand that's got any more people in class?
We have
right.
Rook R,
Got Brooke.
and we have Isaiah Ya'ala.
Isaiah Yala. Okay. Good. Let's make sure we got all people, all Israel in there. That's what we want to make sure. You know, we're here for our people. We're not here for anybody. Occasionally, we get some characters in there trying to, we just stomp them out and block them out so that we can go through our class. A possessive adjective starts with, if you take a word and you put it on the end, an adjective on the end of the word, then you'll understand that the possessive adjective means something like you, it takes hold of making that word making you part of the possession, um, like my house or my drink or my wine, something like that. That's or mine. That's possession. So that goes on the end. Of course, you can put prepositions on the word to change the sound, the form of what the root word is in the characterization of the word, you know, but you can use, so that's therefore you can use both. We concentrated on prepositions last week and we had a good class. So I figured I'd just give you and I've done these classes for 4 years now and back and forth. So make sure you understand that Hebrew also reads from right to left. You know, when you're reading Hebrew, make sure you read Hebrew from right to left. So if I say something like, let's put a possessive adjective up here. Let's get you guys also. When I say transliterate, that means you'd have to use your chart here, or if you got it in your memory, you use your chart. I'll give you a word, that root word, or a structured word, and then sometimes I put it in a sentence, but sometimes I'll put it in a word. In this case, I'm gonna have to give you a word, and then put a possessive adjective onto it. I may even use some prepositions so you guys can understand. So that's, if you guys understand. I hope that's not too confusing to you, but go ahead. But Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai Barak a thumb to my brothers. That a thumb is like a plural. We're gonna show you how to use this. And Yahweh Shema Allah thun for the women, a thumb and then a thun. A thun. Okay? Yahweh Shema Allah thun by Shem Yahweh Shai to all my sisters. It's like a greeting. So if I say let's just use a word simple like this. If I take the word atha, as a matter of fact, yeah, if I take the word atha like this, ah, tha, and we know what that means, right? Everybody know what atha means? Of course. Atha means what? You means you. Okay.
Kind of.
So and it looks like this in the Hebrew. Ah, that's AH, and then we're gonna say tha, like this. Now I'm gonna use ancient Hebrew, and of course we'd have to have a ha on the end, so it's got to be like this. Now, if I wanted to, of course, that's just saying you in its simplest form, but Hebrew speaks in the masculine and feminine forms. So if I want to say it in a masculine form, and I want to say it plural for a lot of men, like all y'all, instead of, if I want to say y'all, or you can. There's a whole lot of ways to say certain things, but I'm gonna use this simpler way. Ah, thumb. Okay, hum. Okay, so that's a thumb, right? And I want you guys, and that will look like this. I'm gonna use a Syrian on this one right here. Ah, and then I'm gonna use tha, uh, like this. Okay, ah, tha, and then of course we have to use a ending character there of M, a thumb. That's what that looks like in Assyrian. Okay, that's what it looks like because it was singular. But if I was saying This is masculine. This is for men. If it was masculine, okay? That's what the man would say. A thumb. If I'm going to refer to a man, it'll be a thumb for all of you all, okay? Or basically y'all. That makes sense? All right. All right. Get that one out of there. Okay, so if y'all understand that, and then of course, if I was going to say for a woman, it would be we're using thun right there, a thun. Okay, and so and I'll just go ahead go back to the ancient Hebrew and writing it out here. And I'm gonna get you guys to participate here in a second, so don't go nowhere. Fa, and then of course, like that. Of course, make sure that you go over and use your thun, a thumb, then thun. Those are called what? What are these called? Anybody in the chat? We'll give y'all something to chew on here. Right here. Anybody know what these little upside down U's are? And right upside down U's? Y'all tell me what these are, because that tells you on the ancient language. And you notice you don't have them on the Assyrian language, but on here. We found that out in archaeology history. That's the earth revealing that we are the children of Israel. That's how we know. When we look at our records, we found this. Tell me what these are. Can they see this? We got one here, and then we got one there. What are those called? Put it in the chat. What we got?
Still waiting.
Huh? Still waiting. Yeah, of course. Like this. Okay, so if you understand Atha, and then let me know what these are. These connect. It's important that you understand this when we're doing the ancient Hebrew. If I make these symbols here, you'll know what these are. Of course, like I said, we're doing possessive adjectives. They occur at the end of the word, the root word. In this case, it's Atha. Ham and Han, they are occurring at the end. And then when you occur them at the end, then it's changing the whole possession. That's what this is, possession, possessive adjective. Go ahead.
Latanya Frederick said connectors.
Clap it up for the sister right there. Latanya Frederick. She's been in this class before. Mm-hmm. Latanya, I think you have a
from South Carolina.
Yes, South Carolina. I think you have also a Hebrew name. You can use that name if you can. You can write it out for us. I know you have one if you feel like it, But that she's right. These are connectors. And this is the, which connector is that?
But that's the independent.
Independent connector. Which one is this?
Dependent.
That's right. So when you get a sound, like we're using the word, this is y'all also. Okay. Now, possessive adjectives. And I may use I think we have a Shayala in there too, right?
Kind of other one. That's Shayala.
Shayala. Also 500, right? Yeah. Shayala. Now, Atha, you. Of course, and sometimes we may say Barak Atha when you're talking to one person. Well, when you're talking to multiple people, if it's a male, in this case, man, he'll say a thumb. But that same man will come around and say, if he's talking to a bunch of women, a thun. Okay, and we usually use Barak in front of this word. And what does Barak mean? Anybody in the audience? Tell me, what does Barak mean? Since we're there, I'll write that word down. Latanya guessed that, I mean, she alliterated that it was more than a guess because she understands it. So the possessive, oh, here, let's see. We got room here. What does Barak mean, by the way, since we're on the board here? You see that?
Yeah.
What does Barak mean? Anybody out there? I'm not going to write the transliteration of it because I'm going to get you guys to do some transliteration in a second. But tell me, what does Barak mean? If I say Barakatha, Barakatham, Barakathan, singular, all the men and all the women, and I put Barak in front of, what does Barak mean? Anybody?
Here to learn, or Brooke.
Yeah, Brooke.
She says, bless.
Bless. Let's clap it up, right? Damn right. It means bless, right? So that's what it means. Man, we got some scholars in here. See, in ISUPK, that's all we breed is scholars anyway up in here. You stay in this class long enough, you'll learn all of the scholarship that comes with this class, men and women, right? Priests, prophets, wives alike, and single and not single, married, right? Gotcha. So does everybody understand that, right? So far, Barak, cool. So let's erase this. So we know a little bit about possessive adjectives here. Let's move on. And let's put some examples on here. Get you guys to use some transliteration. Hang in there with me. Now, I know you guys getting off Friday night, drinking your wine, and see people we ain't seen in class in a while. Ashayala, Latondra Fredericks, and can't remember her name there for Hebrew name, and a few other people. See Brooke in class, right? Man, we got it. But anyway, possessive adjective. Let's go back to it. Let's find out what we got here. Let's find out what this means. Okay. All right. Let's do something here, because last week we used some words. Possessive adjectives, like I say, they occur. Let's say if I want to use a possessive adjective of mine.
So like the other one.
Go ahead.
Latanya said her Hebrew name.
Yeah.
It's Thakawa.
How you spell that?
THAQAWAH. QA.
Really?
QAWAH.
Oh, gotcha.
WAH.
Gotcha. Takawa. Gotcha.
Okay.
Appreciate it. I knew she had a name already. So we'll go by Takawa if you want us to, sis. Let's use this word. I want you guys to transliterate what this word is for me, okay? Let's go for this right here, all right? All right, I'm gonna give it to you in basic. On the top line of that Hebrew chart, the ancient Hebrew, right? Let's go with this. Tell me what this is, and we'll go with this. And we'll expand it here. And now, of course, I'm gonna y'all tell me what that word is. In other words, how you transliterate something is like Thakawa said. You take your connectors here, independent and dependent connectors, and you you look at that word right there, and you take the symbols for these words. There are sounds for these symbols, and write out the English how that transliterate. It's already translated. We're just going to write it out how it transliterates, okay? So y'all tell me how that transliterates. And then we'll expand on that, right? We got a possessive adjective over here. We're going to say, let me see what it is here, what I want to use. We'll put it up here. There. First one we'll concentrate on is like Yah. That is a possessive adjective. We can use it. You can also use it for a preposition. But in this case, it's going to be a possessive adjective. And I'm going to show you how to use that possessive adjective on this word that you're going to transliterate for me. So let's break it down. Let's go with it now, unless you want me to write it in Assyrian. Yeah, we can. Let's write it in Assyrian also. Let's write this also in Assyrian so people can see it. Same word, right? Well, it ain't gonna work right. There it is. Okay. Y'all take your time on that. All right. Well, take your time. I'm trying to get the transliteration of this word. In other words, write out what it is on this line here. Right here.
Stop that one. Brooke has an answer.
Brooks got an answer.
Mm-hmm.
What Brooke got? Spell it.
B-A-R.
Who?
B-A-R.
Okay.
A-K-A. She's asking if it's that.
B-A-R-A-K-A?
Kind of. That's she's asking. Is that it?
No. No. But keep looking. Now you're trying to spell. I think what you're trying to do, the first thing you're doing, maybe I wouldn't say wrong, but you're looking at Hebrew from left to right. Hebrew, I mean from right, from left to right. Hebrew is read from right to left. This over here. Take and turn that around, Brooke. From here, here, there. Like this. Now these are two different languages, but they're the same sounds. But you're reading it, it's a common thing that people do. Left to right, you know. Hebrew is read from right to left. Always like that. Right to left. I think that's what I see right there. Okay. Right. Slack. Anybody?
She said you are correct, sir.
Okay. So turn it around. Anybody else? Turn it around, Brooke, or whoever else wants to transliterate that. I mean, what we have here. Let's go and do that. In other words, when I write this word down in English, of course, you're gonna have to go from left to right because that's the only way we know how to write. But in the Hebrew that the Most High gave us, it's from right to left. And here are my connectors. Now tell me what that word says. So let's go. Let's try this then. Let's try it that way. How about that? Okay.
She's asking, is it?
You know what? I think I may have spelt this word wrong. Hold a minute. Ooh. Yeah, I did. I spelled the word wrong anyway. Slocky. Let's try this again. I spelled the word sort of wrong. Let's try this. How about that? Sorry. Okay. I spelled it wrong. There. Try that. Let me go ahead and give it because I kind of messed that up a little bit. I spelled the word. It's still a ka right there. Okay. So, but I just gave you the wrong ka. That's our slocky. Okay. That's the word right there. Okay. What? Has everybody got this right here? Everybody got that? I just spelled it wrong, Slocky. I had it K. K-Rob. Like ka. But it's really C-H-A-A. Slocky about that. Okay. So let's deal with this. Okay. So this is what I want you to see. So if I take like this and I say, and I put this right here up like that, what word would that be? Karab ya. Because ya is that. So what this word right here is karab. And I'll tell you, karab is a sword. Okay. So now what am I really saying? What am I saying now? Salaki about that spelling. That's a ka right there. That's the ka I'm looking for, not the C looking one up there. That would be a K-A. Salaki about that. But karab is the same thing as fighting or sword. And if I want to put ya at the end of it, what would that be? My, right? So it's my sword. That makes sense? So you got a my here, just like that. In other words, just turn it around. And of course, we got to write it in English. My sword. Does everyone understand this right here? Right there? Just like that. If you understand that, just say con, sir. Does everyone understand that?
Brooke says yes, sir.
Okay. Everybody else understands it? Takwa, Hawaba, Aisha, Shar.
She says
they understand it. And because so my is Yah. So we're using a possessive adjective right here. Right there. Yah. That's one of them. So we'll say, everybody got that? Okay, that's ka. Okay, that's my sword. That makes sense.
Kind of.
Okay, now let's try something else. I'm gonna erase this bottom line here. It's my sword. That's what it means, my sword. Now, what if I did this word? Let's try this word. Karabkam. And of course, if I was going to spell that in Hebrew, it would be like this. Ka ra ba, and then I would say ka ra, and then of course I would use to spell come. So you want to say like this, and I'm spelling it right to left here, of course, to make it look like it's supposed to fit. That makes sense.
Kind of.
Now I got to use a ka. Okay. Did I set it right here? Ka. Okay, there we go. Yeah, like this. Ka, C, A, and then I got it, and ka is K, A, of course. And then I got to use an M on the end, like this. Right, just like that. Just like that. So korab come. What does that mean? So if we say come, that's another possessive adjective. Instead of Yahweh, it means your. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. It's Lakia. Your swords. So it would say it'll be the plural form right here. Plural. We're going to make this plural. That'd be plural. So it will say your. Now we got to work your swords. Just like that. Now what we just did was make, instead of one sword, we said karab come. Now we said many swords, your swords. So that means the soldiers pull out their swords, right? They're going to pull out a lot of swords. Not just going to be karab yah, my sword, anymore. It's going to be the next one down here, right here, karab come, is going to be your swords. That makes sense? Instead of my is Yah. Of course, we can put it above here a little bit right there. My. Just like that. Does everybody get that? Who we got? Got somebody new in class?
Kind of one.
Who we got?
Azura.
Azara. Okay. How Shemala thought about Shemi how sis. I'm a wise rib. We have, glad to have you join us, sis. So we got Karab Kam, right?
Mm-hmm.
Karab Yah. Everybody understand that?
Kind of.
And of course, this is what entails a possessive adjective. Where does it occur? At the beginning. In the audience, where does a possessive adjective occur? In the beginning or the end of a word? We'll put up here, we'll say my swords. Sword. Because Hebrews, like I said, this is sword, and this is my right here. course, in Hebrew, you have to look at it from right to left. That's over here. Of course, in English, I mean, I have to write from left to right. If I wrote that backwards, you'd be looking at me like I'm crazy, That makes sense? So down here, all I did was give it a plural, but that plural is a possessive adjective. Now I'm talking about your swords. That makes sense? I'm waiting to make sure everybody understands that because that's important. If everybody understands that, say con, sir, or con, something. Everybody got it? Make sure everybody's putting in the chat, because that way it's. I just want to know so people can understand and they got it. We got a full class. Clap it up for class tonight. Huh? Clap it up for class, right? Appreciate that. Yeah, put your hand claps. Who's that? Somebody said they understand?
Takawa said.
Takawa understands.
She said concert.
Right. So I'm gonna reiterate. Yah means mine. That is a possessive adjective. Write that in your notes. One of the possessive adjectives, Yah equals is mine. So I use it, Yah, right here. In other words, if I said Karab Yah, okay? So, and then I come over here and I say Karab Yah in the English, it's mine. So it's my sword. Of course, you'd have to turn this backwards. It's the sword of mine or my sword. You're showing possession. That's how, when you want to show a possessive adjective, it's put there to show possession. What we got?
Israel says beginning concert.
Huh?
Israel says beginning concert.
Beginning.
Huh? She said beginning is the possessive.
She understands.
That's where she put the possessive, is in the beginning. When you ask the question about where does the possessive go?
Oh, no. Okay, gotcha. Okay, Azara, the possessive adjective goes in the end. The preposition goes in the beginning. Let me straighten that one out here. Only because we speak the English language, I put Karab Yah. I put it in the sense that it belongs. It's in the beginning. And make sure you understand, I just put above it what the word meant. Karab, sword, and Yah-mai up here. But if you put that word together, matter of fact, here, I gotta do something here. Let me write to the side over here just a little better, so I can spell the whole word out. Ka, right there, ra, then ba, karab, karab, and then I'm gonna put a dot there, and I'm gonna put a ya, and a ya will look like this. That's what a ya looks like. That right there, of course, it has a single connector. Now, that word right there, this word over here in Hebrew spells this right here. Does everybody understand that? Karab Yah. The possessive adjective always occur in the end. Sometimes you can put them slightly toward the middle, but it's going to nearly be at the end, depending on what you're trying to do, pluralize something or whatever. But it's generally quoted as being directed toward the end. And that's what this is. This is the end of the word right here. Okay. Yah. Everybody understand? Go ahead.
Brooke has a question.
Go ahead, Brooke.
The question is, sir, what happens to the A on Karab?
You mean here? Okay, the A on Karab. That's a good. You mean like probably on the B right there. She's probably talking about like ba. That ba. What happens to that? I'll explain that, bro. Very good question too, by the way. When you're using like on this B here, that ba, there's no reason to put Karab ba. That's a whole nother word. When you get a word And the A sound, that ah sound, the last letter generally, in general, most of the time, 99.9% of the time, goes away. That ba, that you don't need an A here. But that's a very good, because it's a question that people ask a lot when they're, starting to learn the language. Karab ba. We don't say karaba, it's karab. It stops there. Now, if you went on further with other letters in that word, then you put ba. But if you notice right here, the ra in ra stays. But here's another thing too. When you're joining two sounds together, that the middle one will stay, and the last one gets ejected. You don't need that. So you say karab or sword. Okay? Karab ya. Not ya karab. That's totally different. That's a preposition is ya karab. It's like a fighting stance, right? But we're saying my sword. So when you say karab now you're using it like a sword. Okay? Using this word like as though it was a sword. Okay? That makes sense? Y'all, you understand that, Brooke?
She does. She said,
Go
okay,
ahead.
thanks.
All right, let's clap it up for everybody right there, man. I know I'm trying. Y'all can ask any question you want because sometimes I can make things difficult. But just remember, now, I'm gonna reiterate again because it's important. Because if you don't do that, and I appreciate the people for taking your time to listen. Everybody listen to me first of all, and the answers of different people. That makes sense. That's a good brotherhood and sisterhood, right? Ka Karaba, karaba, not karaba. It's karaba. Because I'm making one sound here with this. That's what that connector is saying. Because if I didn't have that connector there, then you might have an argument to say that's karaba. That's why when you do this in the Assyrian language, it's hard as hell to understand what they're saying without connectors. Oh, it's harder. But in this case, ka, that's Chaa, Ra, Ra. That's why I write this out so you can see it. And I wrote it in Hebrew. Okay. Karab. And then I put a little dot there so you can see there's a whole nother sound coming, and that's Yah. And this Yah is mine. So it's my sword. That's just one guy with one sword. But what if a bunch of brothers came in there with a bunch of swords? I'm reiterating, of course. Your swords. Well, you go karab, like this, okay? And then you say come. Oh, now we got a plural going on here, but it occurs at the end. So, and that's what it is. Karab, come. We drop the A again at ba and throw in a whole nother ending. Come. You don't want to shortchange that ending because it says that. Come. So let's spell it out in Hebrew. And of course, this is in the ancient Hebrew. I hope everybody's following me. Karab, come. Everybody understands that, I believe. Let's let that give you a few more seconds to write this down. Because this is going your notes right here. This will be a great example for possessive adjectives. I'm just using ya right now because we have different possessive adjectives. Last week, like I said, we went over like Azara, you were saying possessive adjectives occurs at the beginning. No, it always occurs in the end. And of course, you got to understand it reads from right to left. From right to left. Never from left to right in Hebrew. Of course, in the English language, I got to write it from left to right because I'm stuck here in this wickedness called America. That makes sense? Yeah. Okay. Y'all got it so far? So far, it looks so good, man. All right. So let's move on. Can we move on? I think we can. All right. Okay. We're going to move on. If y'all don't know, let me know. Ask me a question. I know Brooke, Isaiah, all y'all, Takawa, everybody. on top of their game tonight, and I appreciate that. How about Aisha? Okay, I guess I can erase this. Let's move on to another possessive adjective. That's what we're talking about tonight. Like last week, we talked about prepositions, but we're talking about possessive adjectives right now. Okay, so let's get this. Let's get it. Okay, what do we talk about? Because if that was a preposition and that was a ya, it would be he. So we ain't talking about that. But tonight we're talking about possessive adjectives where ya is equal to mine. It's possession. That makes sense?
You have someone else joining the class.
Who got?
Keisha Irving, she says shalom.
Shalom. Yahweh Shemal Athabah Hashem Yahweh Shai says to all of my sisters, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai Baraka Thumb to all my brothers. Okay. Keisha Irving, appreciate that. I'm assuming that you're what's your sometimes y'all sisters can put your Hebrew name in, I believe. Like Thakwa put her name is, and got Izarav, got Hawabah, we got Brooke, you'll get your name after you stay here so many days, right? Okay. But that way I'll understand how to pronounce your name and what's going on here. So let's do something else. Okay, Karab, yeah. The word, and also Ka is your Karab, your sword, and then you can have your swords. I forgot to put that one on the board. Ka. You can have your sword. Also, the same word, Ka, which means Shalaki. Ka is your. That's the possessive adjective for that. Your sword. So you have Karab, you have Karab. If you notice, and the B there, the ba, the ah is you don't need it. So you say Karab Ka. Of course, we already said Yah for mine and Ikam for ours. I mean, not ours, but shit, get me mixed up here. For what I say? My is Ka, my is Yah, Slaki. And then we have with my sword, your is Ka. There we go. Okay, so y'all make sure y'all understand that one. Karab with mine, Ba Karab Yah. And of course, Yah is my sword. And so the second one would be, you got another one here, this your sword, Karab Ka. Okay, so just wanted to make sure y'all put that down. Ka, your. Gotcha? Okay, just making sure I didn't want to miss that one because I wrote Karab Kam, which is a lot of swords, but yours. Okay, I'm just using a root word here to inflate and elevate the meaning to a whole nother understanding. Okay. All right. So far we use the word karab, and we use karabya. That's my sword. We use your, which is karabka, and we use your swords with an S, karabkam. Okay, so let's use another one. Let's do this. Let's say a word like wa. That's another possessive adjective. His. His. Okay. That's what that would mean. His, or it will also mean it. Okay? That's a possessive adjective. And we can say, I want you guys to transliterate this for me and tell me what this word is right here. Okay? Um, in the Hebrew. I'm using ancient Hebrew with connectors because it makes it a lot easier to pronounce, you know? How about this? And then I'm going to use right here. Y'all tell me what this is. Write it on this line right there. On this line. Now that's a full word right there. Uh, there. And of course, I'm introducing another possessive adjective, and this would be wa, his or it. Okay. And remember, it occurs at the end of a word. A possessive adjective always occur at the end of a word. Okay, at the end, it shows possession, like you want to show a possession, like you own it. You know. So let's find out what this word is. Transliterate this word. That's the only way I know how to get you guys involved. If that you put in some bricks there and transliterate something. And like I said, to reiterate, we're going to transliterate this because it's already been translated. We just want to see what does it look like in English here. This has an English look to it. When I say look, I would say you can transliterate this ancient Hebrew into English. So we'll know what it sounds like. We'll know what it looks like. And then I can say, oh, I know what that is. I can look at my vocabulary and look up that word. But right now, it's in ancient Hebrew right now. So the only way to do it, you use that Hebrew chart. There are sounds for these. Remember your connectors. These are you all have independent connectors. Every last one of them. Y'all work on that. And y is equal to his or it. And this is going to be a masculine form here, of course. Wow. When you see wa on the end of something like that, that's what that's saying, okay? His. We've already used ya, ka, and kam, right? So now we're using as possessive adjective. That's three of them we learned. We even use it in a plural form, okay? Plurality. When we said kam. But now we're using a whole nother possessive adjective. And that's wa, his or it. So remember, Hebrew reads from right to left. In other words, you'll be going like this. You'll be going this way, like this. Across the page from here, going this way. Okay?
We have one answer out one.
What do you got?
Brooke has.
What you got, Brooke?
She's got AH.
Okay, AH.
RA.
RA.
TA.
TA.
ZA.
ZA.
W.
Huh?
W.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put wow there, Brooke, because I'm gonna tell you why you have to have the A here, because I understand why you would stop there. That's why I put that dot there, signifying that this is all one word, and then you have that wa has to get the full sound, so you have to say wa. You can't say wa because look, it's independent. All independent connectors get their full sound, right, Brooke? I mean, I did the same thing. You do the same thing everybody does, has done.
Kind of.
Okay, any. That's exactly why I gave the independent connectors. All independent connectors will get that full sound. If you notice, every last one of these got the full sound. That's what they are. Even this right here. In this case, it's a wa. Does anybody else agree with that?
She says kind of, sir. We have someone else in the chat.
Who we have? What we got? We good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You had a troll?
Mm-hmm.
We good?
Kind of.
All right. Just letting you know, if you troll this class here, man, we will kick you out on your forehead. We won't have time. I'm here teaching the class. I ain't here answering fictitious questions. Bible says foolish questions deserve exactly what they need. Trash can. Go ahead.
Lucky, sir.
Go ahead. Talk to me.
Brooke says, "LOL, I'm trying, sir."
Oh yeah. Let's clap it up for the sister right there. Exactly. Yeah. No. I'm not taking anything against a person that's trying. That's not the point. The point is, as a matter of fact, there are no wrong answers to me as long as you're trying to do it. I realize that you're doing exactly what I want you to. That's how you learn, by answering over and over and over again. Okay. Okay. That makes sense. Great. What we got?
She says, "No, you're doing a great job. Thanks."
All right. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. All right. Water. Okay. So she has this. Does everybody else have this?
Azara's clapping it up, so everybody.
Azra got it. Everybody look like they got this then. Cool. So what does that mean? What this means is this. So we're gonna say I'm gonna write it just like we see it, and this Aratazar course is Earth. Okay. So what are we saying? We're saying His Earth. I could have said my Earth, their Earth, but I chose to use wa because, or in this case, instead of it, it's his Earth. It Earth wouldn't sound right, so so I want to say His Earth. It's it's just like the Bible says, like the earth is given to the hand of the wicked. Is that right? That's what it says. So it says earth, but he don't. It's just given to him. In other words, it's given to him to go and wreak havoc in all these lands. Esau. I'll just kind of use that his earth. As a matter of fact, let's just go to it since we want to say. We can say his. You can say we can say my plot of land. I can say a lot of different things, but in this case, I just said his earth, and I don't have to look up a text to fit it. But if I wanted to, I would say this. I would use this one right here if I can. All right. Let's just look it up. Let's just see. All right. Let's find it. Let's just find it, right? Let's find one that would fit that we can. So let's read it. Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where? And who is he? Of course, we're talking in this case, his earth, we're talking about who? Esau. The devil, the Bible speaks of Esau, right? Mm-hmm. So when we said the earth is given to the hand of the wicked, I mean, I could say his earth. It's his earth right now. The earth is given to him. The Most High gave him this earth so that he could, put us to a test, and because we're the children of the Most High, and we're being tested daily. of course, by Shaitan or Satan, of course, through the hand of the wicked. And who is the hand of the wicked? Esau, right? That makes sense. Everybody understands that. So when we say his earth, in this case, we're saying Ratazawa. Man, that's one way of saying it, right? Okay. Everybody understand that? Everybody agree with that? What she has right there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. So we got that one. So when we say and use wa, when we use wa in this case right here, at the end, a possessive adjective is going to occur in the end. The reason why we know that is because I put it in the end over here. It looks like it's the beginning, but remember, Hebrew is always read from what?
Right to left.
Right to left. Always. Even in the Assyrian language, right? Okay. So let's make sure you guys, y'all clap that up. Clap it up for class right there. Make sure y'all understand, that said his, right? Right. Okay. All right. So let's do we got that all right? We good? And like I reiterate, let's erase that one right there. I think people understand that one. Good. All right. Everybody understands so far. And of course, let's do something. Let's see. Let's take one if I would say let's do this one here. Remember your connectors now. That's what I'm writing out here. Remember all your connectors. I'm gonna write another word, okay? All right. Right here, just like that. So y'all write out what this is. Okay. Oh, it's locked. Oh, I wrote that wrong. Slovakia. There you go. In other words, translate this one, and we're gonna go. I'm gonna introduce you to another one. I'm not gonna write it up here first, so you guys won't guess the characters on me there. Accidentally give you one there. We're going to introduce another possessive adjective here as soon as you guys transliterate this word. Okay. And then when I put this little dot here, that's to show you there's a whole nother. Oh, I'm sorry. That ain't right. There we go. There, like that. Okay. Boy, Threw off my game there. There. Okay. So, in other words, transliterate this word. And if you notice, Hebrew is written always from right to left. And we're going to introduce another possessive adjective. It occurs at the end. And be cognizant of your Hebrew characters, of course. All right. And you'll your characters and make sure you have we're gonna put a possessive adjective here, of course, but just make sure you guys understand. Also, first thing to do is just write out the word. That's the first thing, from right to left. Remember, from right to left. Remember, make sure you understand your connectors too. Don't shortchange your connectors here. Understand your connectors. They kind of help you. If you follow these connectors here, it'll kind of help you. It'll help you pronounce the word. Like this, right? This sound gets one singular sound. This right here is where you know something's going to occur here because these are two characters that make one sound. That's why you have that connector right there. Two characters that make one sound. We put that upside down U in there. I mean the U, the right side up U, and then upside down for singular. And this is for that dependent connector.
You have one answer?
What we have?
Okay.
Who'd give this?
The first person is Azra.
Azara.
Okay.
Go ahead.
She has MAWA.
Oh, wait a minute. You got to use the wrong one there. Okay. MAWA. Oh, man. Tell you this. What's wrong with my pens tonight?
Could be that spot.
Yeah, I think it is. Oh, my God. This ain't working right here. MAWA DA
HA.
All right. Anybody agree or disagree with that?
Thakwa.
Thakwa. Yeah.
Has MA.
Okay.
MAYA D.
You got MAYA DA HA. Uh-huh. Oh. Okay. Anybody else? What you got?
I have MAYAD HA.
You got MAYAD
D and HA.
HA. All right, let's see what we got here. Y'all look at those. We got some great answers, man. I tell you, this is what I like about class. All right, let's go over this real quick here. Okay. Oh, Salaki for a second. Just hold that down. I'll be right back, okay? Salaki for 1 second. Slacky, I'm back. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Okay. Let's see what we got. Let's investigate this stuff here. Okay. M. Ma. We got that one right. Everybody got that right. Right? All right. This symbol here, that is a what? That's a Yah. Right? Okay, so if that's a Yah, we got Yah. That's right. Okay. Now, we have Slacky. We have an independent connector on Ma, right? So it gets this full sound done, doesn't it? Everybody got that right. Okay, so then we got a Ya and a Da together, like Yad. Okay, I'm gonna show you something here. There's Yad right here, like this. But I got a Yada. So that means you got to take the ah off the end of that right there. Why? Because it stops there. And we'll make sure before we go on that everybody understands that. So far I see the one at the bottom, ma yad ya, and everybody has ha correctly. Everybody's got ha correct. So this is right here. Everybody got ha. Everybody got that correct. Okay. So ha. So the correct one is what? Ma yad ha. Now why is that true before I tell you what all this means? Of course, ha will we'll lose thought of what we're actually doing is ha in Hebrew for the possessive adjective is equal to ha is equal to wait a minute. Make sure I understand this right here myself. Ha in Hebrew, yeah. Ha in Hebrew means her. Ha is equal to her. Okay? Like that. That's what it means. So when we say ha, we're saying everybody got ha on the end. But what most people got, I wouldn't say wrong, is just most people added. Well, over here we have a wa, but it's not a wa. I may have made a mistake there in the first place, but the wa would be a whole nother symbol. It'll look like this. That's wa. Well, we're not talking about a wa. We're talking about ya right there. So if you put ya and a da together and with the slacky there. Okay. If we put ya and da together, you're going to get yad. And yad by itself means hand. Okay. All right. Yad means hand. Ha is her. So what are we really saying here? Let's look at it. Y'all tell me what we're saying. Break it down. What are we saying? So it's saying mayaha, madyadha. So it's mayadha. Okay, yadha. It is actually saying her hands. Okay, that's what it's saying. Her hand. So or her hands instead of you don't have to pluralize hands because it's already plural like this. That's what people got to understand. You have two hands. So it's saying her hands. Okay, so the correct way would be this. The correct one would be like this. Ma, ya, and then ha. Okay? Mayadha. Mayadha. It transliterates to be her hands. Or of her hands. We're gonna say ma is a preposition, by the way. It goes before, so we're gonna say of for ma. That's what that says. That's what that is. And we're gonna say yad of her. And we're gonna say of her hands. That makes sense? That's hands. And that's her. So we'll say her right here. And hands right there. Did everybody understand that? Of her hands. But it's kind of written in English right here, sort of bass backwards here. It's of hands, her. But it really, if you put them in order, because of the way we write English, the preposition is of, hands is yad, and her right here is ha. That's the possessive adjective. So it's really saying of her hands. Like that. Okay? Everybody understand that? If everybody in the audience understand that, y'all let me know now. I hope I broke that one down right. Because I use a preposition here, and then I use right here ha. And everybody got it right. It's just that some people got okay, there we go. Ha. Ha's her. Yod hands. Because a person have two hands. So if you have a Proverbs 31 woman, that's a woman that she works with her hands. As a matter of fact, let's find that in the Bible. Gotta show y'all that a little better there in the Bible. Her hands, right? Let's find that. I mean, these are great responses in class, and that's what we're for. So let's find that. Let's say the virtuous woman, man. Who can find a virtuous woman? That's what we have here in this class here. We got virtuous women out here, man. Her heart of her husband doth safely trust in her, so that she shall have no need of spoils. She will do him good and not evil all of her days of life. She seeketh wool and flax. Oh, she's working with her hands. See? Wool, flax, and worketh willingly with what? With her hands. Proverbs 31 and 13. She worketh willingly with her hands. Y'all got that? Okay. So her hands. So you say maya. Ha. Okay? That's one way of saying that. Y'all with me? Y'all understand that, man? Y'all put that in there. Or she seeketh, or even right here it says darash. All kinds of she worketh, willingly with her hands, man. With her hands, And you could say kapaya, but you're still gonna have that ha on the end, her. Okay, kop, to work. Okay, with her hands or work with her hands. You can put a whole lot of words. I just used it this way, of her hand. Now, that's just the way I put it. I could have said a few different ways. That's what you got to understand. That's my sentence, so I write it the way I want to write. So I said of her hands, ma, preposition, hands, yad, or hand, okay, and then ha, her. So my yad ha, of her hands. That makes sense? Y'all understand that? Did everybody understand that?
I believe so. I don't know.
What we got right there? A lot of people do.
Everyone's saying kind
of. Well, hell, let's clap it up for class then. Let's clap that up for that. That's damn right. So we got it. And so y'all, I want to make sure y'all understand something too. Let's go back over this because y'all at the end, when you're joining two sounds together, This ah here, that da, da, you don't need the ah after the da. Y'all follow with me now. You don't need the ah there because it's joined with another sound. You don't want to say yada ah. You just want to say yad. The whole purpose of a connector and a you got a singular connector, okay? Then you got a connector that joins two sounds together. What is that sound called? You got a single connector, and what's that connector?
Dependent.
That's dependent. So what does that mean? This ya depends on that da. To make, those are two sounds, ya, da. But you want to make one sound, so it's yad. You don't need the ah after that. Yada. Now, if I put ma ya da, then it would be ma ya da. Then you would need that ah then. Do y'all understand that? I hope y'all understand what I'm saying to you, because this is imperative. It's important. Now, when you get a sound by itself, ha, well, it gets the full sound. That's why you have the ah behind there. Right? Y'all got it? Okay. Yeah, everybody understands, I believe. Right? So far. So we done did about 4 or 5 possessive adjectives, right? That makes sense? Okay. Slocky. All right. Let's do another one here because before class ends, we're going to go over something here. Let's try this sentence right here. I mean, this word here. Let's try this one. Let's try this one right here. What do I want to say? Yeah, let's try this. Yeah, try this one. This is another possessive adjective that I want to use right here. Okay, let's check this one out. And we're still using the ancient Hebrew, okay? Just so y'all know, we're using the ancient. I haven't gotten into the, if I want to write that in Assyrian, it would look like this. It would look like this. It would look like this. They can see this, can't they? Yeah. If I want to use this, it would look like this. That's Assyrian. If you want to write the Assyrian on that same word. Okay, we understand? Okay. There we go. And I wrote that as nice as I could. Now remember, you don't have any connectors in your Syrian, but this says the same thing as this in ancient Hebrew. And we're going to discover that we have another possessive adjective on board here. We're going to introduce another possessive adjective. And that possessive adjective is going to take on its own form. And then we're going to show you the meaning here in a second, okay? I'm glad to see you guys still jumping. I know I'm still drinking my water, my Yahanna. That's what it's called. Refreshing there. Giving you guys something to do in class. That way you will not forget this class. And just remember now, look at that. Look at that. Don't forget your Hebrew connectors. Don't forget them. Up top here, this is the ancient Hebrew here. Hebrew is read from what? Right to left. Okay? All you have to do is look at that Hebrew chart to know what to do. Okay? And don't worry if you make a mistake. That's not important at all. I mean, I make them all the time. Hell, I've made some while I was in class. I try to correct them. The main thing is that you correct your mistakes. Okay. That makes sense? All right. That's the main thing. As long as we correct them. Go ahead. We got somebody up in there?
Brooke has an answer.
What you got, Brooke?
She has AH.
AH.
Down that one. BA. NA. NA.
Okay.
WA.
Brooke. Brooke, see, she knows the right from left now. Anybody else? Let's check Brooke. Let's check it out.
Okay, Azara has an answer.
Azara, what you got?
She has AHBANWA.
What about that Azara? Right here. What about that Because these are two sounds joined together.
Brooke says that she made a mistake because she forgot about the connectors.
Wait a minute. You know what? Okay, I'm gonna introduce you to something else here. It's called one sound. I'm gonna have to give this one to y'all. It's like I could have said Nawa like this. I could have done this. Nawa. But that's not that word. It's not Nawa, it's Nawa. So it's really, just so y'all understand me, we have a relative rule called one full sound. In this case, and I know it's hard to understand this, but in this case, that is actually a word, Nawa. And I'm sorry, I apologize. Nawa, that's Nawa. Nawa equals hour. That would be one of the exceptions I was telling you about. There's your exception to the rule, right there. And some people would stop, and I got it, Brooke. I see why you would. Izara and Thakwa and Hawaba. I see why you would. But it's Nawa. That is one full word. Lucky about that. This is one full word. And that's a relative rule that normally you wouldn't do that. That's why I put one full sound under there, and I should have just put Nawa to make you write it Nawa. But we don't say Nawa with a hesitation. We say Nawa. So Nawa is hour. So what are we saying here? But she's right. Who wrote that? Brooke and the Izara, and then you?
And
Takwa?
Takwa.
Everybody. Yeah, everybody clap it up for class, man. That's damn right. But y'all hope y'all understand that Nawa, in this case, write this down in your book. This is an exception as far as the connectors. This dependent connector here, that is a word. Those are not sounds trying to be put together. That is actually one word, Nawa, which transliterate in Hebrew hour. That is one. There are more exceptions, but this is one. I could have said independent. Y'all understand? Please, y'all put in the chat. Please tell me, sir, that y'all understand that, because that I can see why Brooke wrote it down that way. Got it. I understand that. As you know, I should have. But had I done that, then you'd think that it was supposed to be two connectors like that, and nah, it's just one sound.
She said multi-time crisis.
Right.
Thank you, sir.
Right, sure. There are sometimes there are words that's hard to describe and write in the ancient Hebrew. Of course, they have connectors sometimes because they're a full sound. Nawa. Now, so what does this mean then? Let's go back and figure out what this means. So if this is hour, right? What does Abba mean? Anybody know? Abba. Abba. Because you said I didn't say Abba. I put it together. I made one sound out of it. It's important, whatever the teacher says. You know, I'm the teacher, so if I make a mistake, then that way you can always go back to him and get it corrected, right? In this case, because nawa is a sound. That is one full sound too. That's why I did that. So Abba Nawa, what does Abba mean? Anybody in the chat?
Brooke says she's questioning.
What she
Father.
got? Yeah, Father. Father. Everybody else agree with that? So what do we have? Let's clap it up for class that exactly. Everybody did that, got that perfectly right. Because I want to make sure because I was because of my miswritings there. Everybody see that okay? There. Okay, let's lock it. All right, our Father, which means who are they talking about when they say our Father? They're talking about this. Yah Ha Wah. Who is Yahweh? That's who you would call God or the Father, not Christ. Christ would be Yahweh Shai. In this case, we're talking about Abanawa, our Father. And whose Father is he? God of the Hebrews, right? You know, is that true?
Yes.
Yeah. That makes sense, right? So we should be able to find that in the Bible, shouldn't we? Exactly. So let's find it here. Let's just find it. Shit. So we should be able to find this. I mean, you know, when we talk about our Father, we're talking about we're talking about God. We're not talking about no man on this earth, right? We're not talking about our father or our pops or nothing like that. That makes sense?
That makes sense.
Yeah. When you're talking about the Father, right? Mm-hmm. Right. The God. We're not talking about Abraham. We're not talking about him. We're talking about who's that? Yahweh Shah. We're talking about our Father, right? Okay. All right. Let's see where we at here. I'm Slocky. I'm supposed to be finding that, right? All right. Let's go to Matthew. We'll go there real quick here. Says right here. We'll go to Matthew the 6th chapter and we'll say, but thou, we was telling the Pharisees how to pray. But thou, when thou prayest, enter into thy closet. And when thou hast shut thy door, pray to the Father. He's talking about to the Father, our Nawa, our Father, right? Which is a secret. And the Father which I see in secret shall reward thee openly. He's talking about the Father. So he's saying our Father. That makes sense?
Makes sense.
And then he says, after this manner, he's saying this. We Matthew 6 and 9. After this manner, therefore, pray ye, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth. It says, Abba Nawa. That's what we're saying. Shabbat Shemayim Qadash Haya Shamka Yahweh Malafaka Thaba'a Ratazaya Haya Bashemayim Athalanawa. You understand? So we're saying our Father. You find it in Matthew the 6th chapter. So when you talk about our Father, no other nation on the face of the earth can claim this Father. That makes sense?
Makes sense.
So we're only talking about we're talking about we're not talking about some Buddha. We're not talking about some what's some other gods out there. Y'all understand me, all right? We're not talking about the Moab god, the Ammon god. We're not talking about the East Indian god, right? We're talking about Abba Nawa. Our Father. That's Yahweh. It can only be one person. And of course, it's right here. Now, see, if you look at this, Abba Nawa, you can't even tell. And I'm not trying to make to do away with the Syrian Hebrew. It's just hard to understand sometimes. There are no connectors there. So we're saying is y'all saw is Abanawa. That makes sense?
Mhm.
Okay, so y'all understand that, right? So let's Abanawa. Okay. Well, Nawa can be used in a lot of sentences, but y'all understand, right? That makes sense. So far so good. Okay. Um, Nawa. I think we went over enough Hebrew possessive adjectives. Anybody got anything in class they want to add? Or when I say add, just for understanding. Um, y'all understand possessive adjectives, man. Let's clap it up for class then. If y'all understand that, I gave you quite enough. And there are a few more, of course. Um, you know, you said you would say Shamar come, y'all watch. That means all y'all watch. We could say a few more. Unto her husband, we did that. La ayash ha. I can say that. La unto ayash ha her husband. Ayash would be a man or a husband. Unto her husband. I can use that, and ha, I can use ha again as a which means her unto her husband, right?
Yeah.
That means ha again would be a possessive adjective. And so possessive adjectives occur at the end of a word. So once we learn all these words, then you can put these words into a sentence, right? And it ain't going to necessarily read like you have the sentences in English. First of all, we write them right to left. That makes sense.
Got it.
It ain't going to exactly read like that. And of course, uh, that's what you got to understand. Of course, con, if you want to use for female, it would be con, y'all, female, plural only. Con, you would use at the end for female is con, if you want to use that. And then shamar kam, K-A-M, for male, it's y'all watch, or shamar kam. Okay? That makes sense?
Mhm.
Okay, so we got enough on that. Well, the Most High has given us the pure language. That's the main thing. Y'all understand that. Uh, but those are your possessive adjectives, right? Um, we'll give y'all something. Let me give you this last one here. No, let's see. I always try to go over. Well, yeah, we can go over this. I ain't want to go over the number system. We ain't got enough time. I'll give you this one word here and see if y'all transliterate it. Okay. When you want to say good morning, like this, right here. And that's course Tawab. Okay. Good morning. Okay. And then we want to use the word ba, wa. Oh, boy, that ain't right. Ba, wa. I believe it's quar. I believe that's it. Let me see. Let me make sure. Ba, wa, quar. Yeah, that's female. Okay. And you want to say good morning, that's female. You want to say the male, you want to say, Jesus, that ain't right. Tawaba. Salakia. Tawaba bawakwar. But you want to say the male is tawab. Okay. Tawab, this means good, right? Tawab, ba, wa, same word. Ba, wa, quar. Okay. That's the male. Why do we do that? Because this like a lot of languages on this earth, Hebrew was the beginning to pure language of the Most High gave us. Uh, understand it speaks in a masculine and feminine form. So we say good morning. All right. Bawakwa is morning. Uh, it don't matter how you say it, but we correct it by saying for the female, we say tawaba. That makes sense? Like that ha again there on the end. That's where pretty much where that came from. And tawab, you don't have to because it's masculine. Most things in Hebrew are written masculine like that. And if they want a specific, then we want to use specific forms. And here's one of the forms that we would use for that. That makes sense? Everybody understand that? Okay? That makes sense? All right. So I hope you guys had a great time in class. If you did, let's clap it up for class, man. If you had a great time for class, clap it up for class. Exactly. Clap it up. Put your likes. Share and like the class. Go ahead.
So, like you, sir. Brooke has a question.
Go ahead.
Can you pronounce morning, please, sir?
Morning. Bawa quar. Ba wa qua r quar. Bawa quar. Like qua, that sound, it looks like this. I'll spell it in Hebrew. Here it is right here. Ba, like this, ba, and then you're gonna say wa, looks like this. Ba wa, and then you're gonna say qua, like this. Okay? Like that. Of course, we're gonna ba wa qua. Okay, so what we've done here, broken all, and then everybody's looking in. We have independent connector, ba, independent connector on wa. That makes sense. And then when we go to the Q, qua, that's a Q and an A, full sound. And of course, the ra, since that gets shortened at the end, you don't need a ah at the end. You're gonna make one sound out of this qua and that ra. That can only be quar. So it's bawa quar. I'm sorry. I know I got a country sound. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Brooke, but and everybody else. But that's what it comes out to be. Okay, bawa quar. That makes sense. Bawa quar. Okay. Okay. Bawa quar. We good? Any more questions that we have? Just make sure you what we got?
Leviathan. She just saluted.
Oh, okay. How Shamala thought about Shimmy, how shy, Sister Labaya. Appreciate that. Glad you can join us in class. We have two brothers and about 4 or 5 sisters up in class up at night. But like I said, y'all make sure y'all like and post class. Any more questions up here? Well, like I said, we went over possessive adjectives. I thought I'd throw this one in right here. Good morning. And it's not a possessive adjective, but it's just it's a good thing to know. I mean, of course, we went over a tha in its different forms. A tha, a thun, a thumb, a thumb for the baraka thumb for the man, and a thun for a woman. Okay, because it has masculine and feminine forms of the root word of tha, baraka tha, which means what? Bless you or bless y'all. Okay, so we good? All right. Any more questions? If not, we're going to end the class and we're going to go and but I mean, I'm glad you guys understood the Hebrew connectors because that makes class a lot easier too, these connectors here. Because, okay, so we've gone over prepositions last week, possessive adjective this week, and hope everybody understands, okay? So we're going to read some announcements here. Okay. We're gonna get some announcements, and let me see. Hold a minute. But anyway, just make sure. Of course, next week we will. Ain't no telling when I'm going to get on there. I'm not sure. Um, and we'll hold. We're going to read the ISUPK security announcements I did in the class here. We are the ISUPK. Start off 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for the new brother and sister: when a brother or sister comes to the school, they are off limits for 6 months. That is be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular a person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After 6 months period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is commandment, Numbers 18, 21, Malachi 3, 8, and 10. Make sure you pay your tithe and offerings, guys. Means tenth in the Hebrew. Ma'asharah, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the Treasury Department or teacher. The priest fund, free will offering for the priest, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you you would like. Of holy convocation that we have the Feast of Tabernacles, which is still going. We had the 15th day of the 7th month for 8 days. We started the opening Sunday, the 5th. We'll be closing Monday, the 13th. That's this Monday at ISUPK School. October 2025, Leviticus 23, 34, 44. The closing Feast of Tabernacles. That's what we're going to have. Okay, so make sure you show up. ISUPK closing. Okay. Then we have remind Akim and Akwaf to check the bulletin board in the hallway if anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black boots, shirt, pants, and headbands and scarf. Okay. We'll stand and we're going to salute the brothers and the sisters here. We'll salute the brothers first. Okay. Barak. Mad Shabbat. Slakia. Mad Shabbat. Mad. Barak. Yahweh Hashem Yahushai Barak. A thumb to my brothers. Yamata. Sar and face the sisters. Mad Shabbat. Mad. Barak. Yahweh Shamar Alathan by Hashem Yahushai.
Yahweh Shamar Alathan by Hashem Yahushai.
Yamata. Class is missed.